What's good, ladies and gents? Welcome back to MKO Boxing, aka MKO Pugilism, talking all things boxing. So it's the morning after the night before. Just got through last night watching Dereck Chisora versus Otto Wallin live in the co-op arena, and yeah, very good night of entertainment. The main event was just very typical Dereck Chisora. He pretty much let his hands go from the opening bell. Started swinging at the body of Otto Wallin, and going into this, I sort of had. I thought Dereck Chisora, as long as he could get through this, I've gave him a very good shot of winning it on points. And to be honest, that's exactly what happened. And throughout this fight, it followed the same sort of pattern round by round. You had Chisora doing the right thing, going after the body of Wallin, especially in round one. There are a few blows that sort of strayed a little bit low, but nothing too crazy, and just sort of wailing away, wailing away. Wallin, for his part, was almost looking a little bit shell shocked in the first round, just sort of backing up and not really doing much in terms of his offense. It was pretty much all Chisora, and it carried on that way for a lot of the fight. And as we got into the latter rounds, more of the same. Wallin sort of backing up, but not really going for it, not really doing much to deter Dereck Chisora. Chisora was pretty much allowed to maraud forward, cross arm defense. He did take a couple of shots and he did stumble a couple of times, but again, the work of Wallin was almost sort of non-existent. So Chisora was allowed to sort of barrel forward and catch Wallin with quite a lot. I mean, there are some times where he missed, and you could see that, at least in my view, a lot of it was down to age. But then he impressed us again by landing, a great right hand. I think it was in about the seventh round, where we thought he was on top for most of the fight. Seventh round, barrels over one of his typical overhand rights, catches Wallin very cleanly, and then there's like a little delayed reaction, and Wallin just sort of starts stepping back. It's kind of like a baby giraffe just wobbling backwards and then tumbles over. So it was a very interesting and strange knockdown there where Chisora catches him, and then it's like it takes 2-3 seconds for Wallin to fall. And then again, for me, I thought that's even more reason why Chisora has it in the bag. Next couple of rounds goes the same way. Chisora again just sort of marauding forward. And Wallin, with those little gaps where Chisora's taking a break, Wallin did have the time and space to sort of come back and throw something and do something to deter Chisora. And I mean, even in the arena, we noticed Chisora had quite bad cuts and his eyes was all puffed up, but it seemed like nothing could sort of persuade Wallin to do anything here. He was still just backing up, and it was just tippy tappy punches on the back foot, not really doing much. And then again, more drama happens in the last round, in the 12th and final round, where, for me, I was thinking going into that, it's just a case of Chisora staying on his feet. As long as he does that, then he wins the fight. So we go into the 12th and final round. It's more of the same from Chisora. He's tired. He's worn out, but he's still able to deliver his famous swings, lefts and right hooks and all sorts, and he's still delivering blows. And as we get into that round, Chisora again marauding forward, taking little breaks. And there was a period there where Chisora swung away with, I want to say, I think it was about a probably 10 punch combination. He swung there, starting from the body, hook, 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 hook. Very impressive considering the man's, over 40 years old. And, didn't quite get Wallin down. But then in the last couple of, I want to say it must have been about the last 30 seconds of round 12, Chisora gives us more again as he whacks Otto Wallin again with a very big shot. I think it was another big right hand. And then Wallin goes down, and he does manage to get to his feet, but it's I don't even remember them actually ringing the bell. I didn't think they actually ring the bell, but by that point the fight was over. And Chisora, when it goes to the cards, Chisora wins unanimous decision and very, very deservingly so. I mean, it was one of those things where you would have thought that, yeah, he'll get a bit of favour with the judges. But to be honest, he was a man in there working. He was a man in there that made the fight his own. Otto Wallin just couldn't cope with it. He just could not. As there was nothing that he just didn't seem to have it in him to sort of turn the fight around and make it. Because what Wallin really needed to do was make the fight boring. To get away from Dereck Chisora. He needed to use his movement, get away, perhaps grab Chisora. But Chisora just made it his fight, grabbed the fight by the scruff of the neck, and would not allow Otto Wallin to get into the fight at all. And even I thought watching it that Chisora could have maybe cut off the ring a little bit better. But even without him doing that and giving Wallin routes where Wallin could escape too, Wallin just couldn't take it. He couldn't cope with it. And Chisora there looked very, very impressive. And it was one of those funny performances because he looked impressive. The result was very good. He got 2 knockdowns there. And a younger version of Dereck Chisora probably knocks Otto Wallin out, to be honest. If he had that bit more energy there and, a bit more stamina there, he'd have knocked Otto Wallin out. But because of his age, he was a bit sluggish. But yeah, very impressive by him. And it's a performance that was great, but it also shows his age. He's talking about a 50th fight now, which, fair enough if he wants that. But looking at him and the fatigue and the age and everything, you do think you've had another good win. You beat Joe Joyce. You've now beaten Otto Wallin. You don't really need to do any more. You go out on a win and, they brought these pictures in the ring, of Daniel Dubois, Anthony Joshua, and I forget who the other one was, but Alexander Usyk, sorry, and because he's now in the mandatory spot, I believe it is, or he's next up to fight for the IBF, and you got Dubois, Joshua, and Alexander Usyk. So yeah, those are some crazy options. In my view, at least, I think all those options are very dangerous. I think you don't go near a young man like Daniel Dubois because it ends badly. You don't go near an Alexander Usyk. I mean, Usyk, although he did give Usyk a tough fight, that was now, I want to say, about coming up for 6 years ago, and Usyk's still very fresh, so you wouldn't want that. I think Anthony Joshua out of those options might be the most realistic, just because of Anthony Joshua may still be dealing with things mentally, and has he gotten over the Dubois loss? We don't know. So something like that might be a more realistic fight. But even that, a guy with the punching power of Anthony Joshua, you don't want to go near him. It's really dangerous. But I suppose mentally upstairs, his mentality is probably where he's weak. So who knows? I don't know who Chisora is going to fight next. But let me know your thoughts on that in the comment section below and what you thought of the fight. And until next time, it's MKO Boxing, over and out.